All right, hey everybody, so this is Josh Bruce, and today we're actually going to be looking at fleshing out PHP JSON, but it's coming from schema, okay? And it's also, yeah, like I just had this brain flash of basically inside of schema, we've written all of this stuff into this one class to basically handle interacting with the JSON that we pass in to develop a schema, up to and including this JSON serializable method to convert it all. And I was thinking, man, this is probably better served elsewhere. So we're going to jump into PHP JSON. I need to make it so that we can run tests, and I'm still working on making so that we can run tests through the base folder of Amos. So that's kind of what I'm going to be setting up. Alright, so PHP, in the meantime, I'm going to leave that open. I'm going to leave this open. I'm going to close out all of the Amos stuff. Open up PHP unit XML. And do we have, we do. Oh, so we already have it set up, kind of. So instead of schema, we'll say JSON. Okay. So let's go ahead and we're going to go into Origami. Oh, I didn't know you could do that with right click. That's great. So we're going to cut to the left, come in here. So what sort of changes are we actually going to make? And we're going old school setup here. So let me hop down here, shrink down this text, and let me go ahead and make this text a couple of notches bigger because it seems to be getting blurry. Oh, I thought it did it. It'll do it for the whole thing when I open up a new file. And we can go command, oops, never mind. We can go command P and do read.php. So we can open that up as well. Okay, so we have the read, right? We have the write, which I'm thinking we're actually going to make this into one Uber class. And we're going to basically take pretty much the entire contents of this thing here. So let's jump into it. All right. So base test is just assert equality. So let's see what other test we have. I'm not as familiar with searching in I'm not as familiar searching inside of Sublime Text, so bear with me. Okay. So we're still using the composer.json. Okay. So now if I did new, let's copy this, say new, paste. I'm going to say combined test, cancel that, and slide this over here. And we actually want to do JSON, JSON. So this is going to be combined test. Go up here, create a new file as well. Make sure it's PHP. We're going to call it class JSON. Go ahead and save that. That's going to go in the source of PHP JSON, and we're going to call it json.php. All right. So let's bring type over here. And I'm being this meticulous about this because I'm not sure how many of these we're going to make. So what do we need to be able to do here? Like, what are we taking? So chances are we're going to be taking the JSON itself. Okay. So this is just going to be a raw string. We're going to do public function, and we're going to say construct, and we're always going to be passing in a string that is JSON. Granted, we won't know that. Oh, actually, yeah, we should be able to know that. Is JSON, JSON. I thought we made this into a method. String is JSON. Okay, that's actually from schema, which really doesn't make any sense. So Command P, schema, PHP, not Laravel schema, but PHP schema. Right, so we're going to be grabbing that. I think it's wise to keep it as a static method. Still want to convert this to using Shoop. I wonder if we can do Shoopify. It's kind of like, oh my god, Stupefy from, God, what is that band's name? Holy crap. Stupefy Disturbed? Yeah. Yeah. I'm telling you, recall is the problem. You can memorize a whole bunch of stuff. Alright, so now let's do this. Public function test can get JSON. Okay, so we're going to say JSON equals something colon something, and then we're going to say result equals to JSON actually, No. We're going to be kind of hardcore about this, so let's be hardcore about this. Result JSON new JSON JSON. I'm going to wrap these in parentheses because if you do, then you can method chain off of it. So I'm going to say to JSON, and we're going to say this assert equals JSON result. Class 8-fold JSON, JSON not found, namespace, 8-fold JSON, JSON. And we could be running into the PHP problem or the composer problem. Name is base composer JSON, where basically because we're using directories, local directories instead of the vendor directory, it's not finding stuff. At least that's why I think it's happening. But like I say, we've got to, one of the things that I would like to see us do once we get up there is be able to run all the tests and everything like that against all the packages ever. Composer dump auto load. Still not finding it, huh? Let's make sure it's in the right directory. It is. Oh, the namespace is not 8-fold JSON. It's just JSON. Try that again. There we go. Call to undefined method. That's great. So we're going to say function, public function to JSON, and it's going to return a string. And we're going to return this JSON. Yay. Oh. Let's do this. If JSON string is JSON, else, where are the errors happening? Find error. Given string does not appear to be valid JSON. JSON. Okay. Double check. Oops. What? Switch out our double quotes for single quotes and vice versa. Okay, good to know. Good to know. Okay, so now, so we can get the JSON. Good times. Now let's see if we can get an array. Test can get array. So just grab this whole thing to array. Call to undefined method. Function, public function to array. Should return an array. Return. Oh, wait, no. Let's redo JSON. So JSON encode JSON. And just return an empty array for now. Make sure we get rid of that wrong method. What? Oh, right. Since we changed what JSON is, it's not a string anymore. So one failure. Yes, assert true is array result. Both of these should be alright. Let's do a Divebar dump here of what array is. What have you become, array? Oh, JSON decode. Seriously? Okay, it's an array. Result, empty array. Combine test 25, 26. Oh, it's considered an object. What did we do to get around that? right? Because it's going to be var dump array. Yeah, because it's a standard class. PHP standard class to array. Oh, can I just cast it? Yeah. Okay. So now let's go back up here to JSON, and this is not what we're going for. So we're going to go ahead and say JSON decode this JSON, and we're going to cast it as an array. Okay. That was a lot of, I'm not setting this test up properly. Okay, so if we come back into type, we're going to shut these two things down. So if someone wants to get the JSON, how do we want to handle that? Technically, we already have it because it's to JSON. I don't know if anybody's actually going to want the original JSON. So I think we're just going to do that. Changes. No, I think we're good. Oh, with that said, we do need to be able to add something in there. So there are three types of things that, three sort of types that JSON deals with, right? So so it can take strings as values. All members are strings, aka keys. It can take objects. Oh yeah, and let's do this. Double quote objects as values, and that's curly braces, and it can take arrays as values, and that's square brackets. Fix that typo. So when we're adding something to the JSON, right, when we're modifying the JSON, we're going to need to be able to add an object, an array, or a string. And each one of those is going to have a member declaration. So I'm going to put this just after the constructor, and we're not going to actually go into development here, so this is just placeholder stuff. But I'm going to say add string, and it's going to be a string, and it's going to be key, or let's call it member just to be sure, and it's going to be string value, and it's going to return the JSON instance. Now, of course, I have to write tests to actually build into this. I'm just trying to give you a skeleton. Function add array. So it's going to be string member. Is mixed a valid thing? I don't think it is. We're going to do dot dot dot, and we're going to say values. Right? And this way we can actually just keep adding JSON objects or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Because of course we're going to start with string. Public function add object. Now here's where it gets a little weird. No, maybe it doesn't. So an object is this. Yeah. Because if we add a string, then it's going to look like, say we did something again, so it'd be something something, right? And that's just one thing, and then another one would be, so same thing something, and then it would be this, and inside of that the curly braces would be the details of the object. And then if it was an array, we could do something, and it could end up looking like string, comma, object, comma, array, right? And yeah, I think object's going to be, or array is going to be the more entertaining one. But if we do it right, should be interesting, because we might be able to use JSON like we do the HTML component. All right, so I'm going to close that, and hopefully we'll be able to clean this whole mess up. All right, so I think we've got enough here to do some damage, and we'll start writing some more tests next time. I'm going to make that a little bit bigger. Until then, as always, thank you so much for making the time. I definitely do appreciate it, and I will see you around.